Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back. So you know what it is. You. What up? Yeah, today has been a month, hasn't it? Yo, what up, Fletch? What's up, bro? I think our viewership's going to be low tonight because football's back, right? And far be it for me to think that there aren't people here who are also people who enjoy the sports ball. That's one of my. I'm sorry. I have some friends that who like are so anti-sports that they act like sports don't exist, which I think is a little much. Like if you don't like football, it's cool, but I'm sure you've heard the term sports ball. Is sports ball on? Is there something going on today with the sport and a ball in the? Okay, we get it. You don't want to watch the Super Bowl. That's fine. You don't have to act like it doesn't exist. Everybody doesn't like something, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. But just what's that one meme where the guy's about to start complaining and the dude like squeezes his lips together and goes, "Shh, let people enjoy things." That's kind of how I am. Fletch says I missed last Thursday because of a makeup D&D session. Yo, sip of coffee for Dungeons and Dragons. And you know how it is. If the party calls, you gotta go. I get it, man. D&D is life, brother. But I'm sure you're like, yo, but wait, Thursday? Coffee breaks on Thursday, right? So I get that. But you know what? I wonder, do you guys watch the? I guess you can't call them replays because I'm not playing them. Like you play them. But say if you don't see the episode, do you go back and watch it later? Um, or is it only good when it's fresh? We talked about this before, and I know there's a couple of people in the room that want to be a part of the show, right? I think that's cool. There's also people that are just like, yo, I'll see it when I see it. Or, when I'm doing my crunches, I'll put on coffee break just to kind of pass the time. So maybe with our small viewership tonight, it'll be intimate. We'll have an intimate encounter. Maybe you guys can tell me how you watch coffee break. Do you I mean, if you're live, then yeah. If you watch it live, and that's cool, but what are you doing? Are you just like you and me, hands on the video scope? Or are you kind of like sketching, or doing your baby hair? Or if you have baby hair, if you're doing your baby hair, that might be a little too obtuse for some of you guys. Y'all know about baby hair. Um, let's find out, and let me see who's here tonight. Let's get some chatter going. The comments are a little choppy, and if you're typing and I don't see it, I mean, how would you know if I don't see it? But if you're like typing and typing and typing, and I'm not reacting to you, it's probably not coming up in my chat. That happened last week, so you might want to try jumping on the YouTube. And YouTube, we're streaming on the Pencil to Pencil channel, so check that out. You know the dude. No, Notorious JRD. Everybody knows JRD in the streets, on the internet streets. I see him walk into the laundromat. People be like, no, he gets his love in the streets. JRD says, well, as you have seen when I am able to, with It Ain't Hard to Tell and watch along comments, I enjoy being a part of the discussion. Cheers. Eternity Forever, what's up? Good to see you. Yo, Chris, what's up, brother? Repping that Phillies cap to the fullest. Sip of coffee for my man, Chris. How's it going out there, bro? Suze, what up, Suze? Is it time? Can we get one of these already? Got a freeze for a Suze pose. Sue says Matt and I watch live side by side, but on different devices because we've got to have our own comments. Now that was must see television right there. Appreciate that. It's a very intriguing setup. Do you kind of like synchronize watches? You both like log on at the same time. Does that mess with the bandwidth in your house? Huh. I wonder if that's like how that works. Oh, what up, Chris? Sip of coffee from my boo, Chris Dresden. Ultra famous cartoonist Chris Dresden. Chris Dresden is known by millions, loved by cajillions. How are you, Chris? Hope you and JD are good. Hang out with me. Sue says, every time you say Sue's pose, I laugh my ass off. Now, you know Sue's pose, the Z is SIC. It's spelled incorrectly. I know how to spell pose. It's just funny that way. Trinity says, what's up to the room? Yeah, Chris and I go way back. If you're Patronus on my Patreon and you get to watch It Ain't Hard to Tell, your fortnightly podcast with myself and heartthrob of millions and comic book superstar Mike Hawthorne, who's currently drawing Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's right, Wonder Woman. I talk a lot about the iCreds, the Indie Cred All Stars, and a lot of you guys kind of know my rap at this point. And Indie Cred All Stars were a very early clutch of creatives that I co-founded back before. I think probably the biggest thing is that it was before Google. Because Google changed everything. There were search engines, there was Alta Vista, there was Dogpile, there was all that stuff. But before all of that, people just kind of wandered around trying to find a like-minded group of people. So I was at I was doing a lot of indie appearances, and SPX was my deal. And I believe, Chris, we met at SPX. I think that's how that all started. And I was at like a fire hall show in the middle of Delaware somewhere. And I was everybody, you guys remember my early Poobah energy. My early Grand Poobah energy, I was like, vibrating. I was so excited about comics. I was so excited to have figured things out on my own, right? Because I didn't go to a thing and print out a list on how to be a comic book artist, how to self-publish. You just kind of figured it all out as you went along. So the early iteration of my stuff was I had my comics, I had t-shirts. I remember, maybe some of you guys may still have these. I had my Friends of Jamar fan club shirt. I had that. I had a Jamar Chronicles t-shirt. I would sell out of t-shirts, but the comics would still be sitting there. And me and the crew went to this local. I was in local. I was huge in Delaware. That was one of the funniest things about that early time back then. No one, I couldn't buy a sandwich in Philly. Nobody cared about me at all. And as I talk about Philly a lot, that's the Philly way. Nobody cares about you here. And we set up, and I think it was like, a couple of my friends, we would travel together. And I think one or two of them had on Jamar shirts. And I guess we looked like a well-oiled crew or something. And we were setting up, and I was just, like, yeah, we'll put this there, and I'll put my little thing there. And I was like planning out my table. And I just remember throughout the show, there was this comic book dude, and I'm not going to say his name because it doesn't even matter. But him and his little posse were like snickering at us. And like the first thing in my mind was I wanted to go over there and, address it. But I was just like, what's that about? And I started, the more shows I started to go to, I started to see that there was like weird lines in the sand, that not everybody was here on the same page or wanting to, be helpful, or even say, hey, I see you're starting out, you're trying to do your thing like me. Let's, how can we kind of link up? And I realized there were cliques, and there were people that thought they were better than whatever you had or what you were doing. And I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to be like that. I was like, I want to be kind of like, like an anti-snob. And we formed the Indie Cred All Stars. It was kind of like a joke, but we started this. It was a Yahoo group, a Yahoo forum or something like that. And there were a bunch of people that I had met along the way. That was like, yo, I'm doing this thing. Come and get in my thing. And I believe Chris was one of the really early members. Yo, what's up, Nick? I see you there. Ghost Cred Nick. Everybody knows my man Nick Waters. Look at the icon in the joint. Look at us. Mike Hawthorne, Mike Norton. There's a lot of people. Calamity John Morris. Some other people. I don't want to throw names around, but there's other people like Steve Rolston was in there. A lot of people who aren't in comics anymore were in there. That's right, comic haters. Who else was in there? There was a bunch of people in there. Anthony Johnston was there. We had some writers. Yo, what up, Ray? Ray Anthony. Good to see you, man. Black Horseman, you know how we ride. Good to see you, brother. Hang out with us. Hey, Matt. Matt says, my Facebook keeps freezing. I'm missing all the good stuff. Go to YouTube. I don't know what's up with the Facebook. Are you on my personals on Facebook, or are you on the Pencil to Pencil Facebook? I think that's what's been happening to other people. Chris says the one in 97 in Silver Spring. Yeah, that was back when SPX was in that Holiday Inn in Bethesda. And man, that was a magical thing. And it doesn't work like that anymore. Yeah, brother, let's ride. Where I got spoiled really fast because I thought that's how comics work. We were in there, and I believe it was a 2-day show. It was Friday and Saturday. Jared D said it's still all right. I know it's in like at a big hotel now, but it started out in just this little Holiday Inn on a side street, and everybody was booked in that hotel, and everything happened in that hotel, and you would go from room to room, and people had like in the hotel, people had bathtubs filled with beer, and it was just like weird. And I stayed up way too late, and it was really very exciting. And I got spoiled really fast because this was my entry into comics, where we were just hanging out, like no lie, like Frank Miller's sitting over there talking to Evan Dorkin, and then I come up and we have a chat, or Dave Lapham is talking to my man Cliff Galbraith, and like everybody was just in it. Everybody was there, right? And people were passing sketchbooks around. Nobody charged for that kind of stuff. One of my favorite theme sketchbooks came from there. I think that was Rico's. I think that was Rico Renzi's sketchbook. It was Mr. T on a moped, right? Yeah, like it was insane. Like these people that you could never put in a room now together were just kind of kicking it for the love of comics. It was a pure love of comic books. And then I started doing mainstream shows and found out that's not how it works. But anyway, that was kind of like the beginning of the Indie Cred All Stars, where we kind of just circled the wagons. There were people who were legit trying to do this thing and needed a support system. So we did that. A couple of anthologies came out of the group. A lot of people kind of just like got what they needed from it and left. And then other people have been my friends for decades. So sip of coffee for the iCreds. Oh, right. Chris says, yeah, 2 days, Friday, Saturday, and the softball game on Sunday. So, right. So the Sunday was really interesting because there wasn't a show on Sunday. The thing was closed down, but in the morning, there was like the summit. Like I think there was like a keynote person who would talk, and then everybody would sit in this little auditorium set up, and people would just present. And that's where I met my man Todd Webb. And Todd will get mad because I swear he was 9 years old and he was selling mini comics in the crowd for $1. I was like, "Yo, young man, I'll buy your comics." And now Todd's like, "Dude, I was not 9." Right? It was just pure love then. And I remember, and I'm lucky this never came out. I had done a couple of mainstream shows, and I remember I was early angry because I was talking about how I started understanding there's a railroad track going through comics where the indie people and the mainstream people are on either side, and it kind of don't really get along. A lot of that has changed because now having a do-it-yourself mindset, self-publishing, excuse me, doing all these things yourself was not a respected tool back then. But then as things started to shift and I would meet more mainstream people, I started to find out they were low-key envious of us because we knew how to do stuff, right? So just imagine you have been penciling things for DC Comics your whole career, and then all of a sudden you don't have a job. And then they're like, "Yo, Jamar, tell me more about this making your own comic book stuff. How do you find a printer?" Like we had all of this knowledge that everybody used to laugh at, but now it was important. It was valued, So like all of this enrichment, all this stuff was happening just as the timeline kept moving. Very interesting. All right, I don't want to talk too much. I already talked too much about that, but yeah, that's always super interesting. And I loved it. I love that Chris is here. Our man Nick's here. It ain't hard to tell on our Patreons, Mike Hawthorne and I. We get down. JRD says, "I'll be honest, I think SPX is hurting itself by not expanding. They're growing a exclusivity because of the way the show is now, which I think helps push some creators away." Well, it started doing that a long time ago, man. Like probably right around the time, I think it was around 2000, when I feel like the show kind of outgrew itself. And then people knew it was a hot ticket. And like, the tables would go up and the tables would be gone in like an hour. And then, maybe it was even a thing where you saw a generational shift happen. And, I felt like I started to age out of SPX. And I was like, maybe this isn't my show. And Chris, remember, I think you and I were sitting next to each other at that one. It might have been my last SPX, and we were just looking at each other like, yeah, I don't know. It's time, like in The Hobbit, where Frodo gets on the boat and leaves with the elves. It's like, all right, I'm out. I think it's time for us to leave the land of men. But I'm not here to piss on SPX. It was a huge foundational block of my beginnings in comics, and I have a lot of great friendships from that time, and I wouldn't trade it. If I came up going to Wizard Worlds first, I'd have a whole different mindset about the business. JRD says the generational shift was weird because 30-year-old creators should not feel like they were too old for radio. And that's generous saying I was 30 then, was I? Yeah, Chris says, yeah, it was a 2002 show. So yeah, all right. Like I'm not going to get into a lot of why this show sucks and why this one doesn't. It's not what I was on about. This wasn't about SPX, but it was about you know forming bonds with people. And it's crazy to think that I've known I've known people for 25 years now, which is wild to me. But we're still here. We're still making moves. That's what's up. Yo, Ray Felix, what's up, brother? It's good to see you. Yeah, I get a props from Ray. It was good. Thanks, man. I'm glad you showed up tonight. I don't really see you around these parts. It's good that you're hanging out. Hey, Suze. All right, I gotta do an ID. I got you. ID? You mean this? That's not what you meant. Okay. I want to get it so that every time we do a Suze pose, everybody stops. It does that. We'll have to somehow take a picture of that. That'll be fantastic. You're watching Coffee Break with JN, with your boy JN. Jamar Nicholas is my government. And I'm also known, as we were just talking about, the Grand Poobah of indie comics. Johnny Carson, if you may. Captain Scholastic to some. In your internet safe space. Well, hello. What happens here? Well, you get to watch me drink this coffee representing Gogo 13, Master of Snipe. Isn't it hot? Drink this coffee and run my mouth. And when I'm out of coffee, video over. You know what it is. Thanks for joining me tonight. Oh, let me turn this joint off. So let's see what's going on in here. A lot of chatter. Thanks, guys. I was getting nervous. I thought it was going to be a low night. As when I signed on, there was like 2.5 people here. Eternity Forever. Oh, and did you? I hope you guys knew. Well, I said it on Pencil to Pencil last week that we weren't doing Pencil to Pencil this week, but we'll be back next week. I'm going to give you we're going to have a. I don't know. Should I give you guys a hint at who's going to be on the show next week? Maybe I will. Eternity says, I just started talking to an editor for an indie self-published comic I want to produce. I hope to have it out by year's end. Oh, that's what's up. Now, Eternity, I hope you know, even though you're like a caffeine in good standing, that no one knows anything about you because of your name. So you totally have the upper hand. Right, like I'm a man Anakin. You have the high ground. Right. So, like, do you write comics? Do you draw comics? You got to kind of just feed me little crumbs of information so I can comment on what you just said. But yeah, congrats. I hope you get to your goal. Yo, Jim, what's up, brother? Jim Lujan, master animator. Jamar, the best dressed, least stressed, sure to impress comic book master. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Sip of coffee for Jim Lujan. Good to see you, man. Ray says, Jamar, I'm here watching Pencil to Pencil from time to time, but I never chime in. Well, why not? Well, why not? I'm sure everybody would love to hear from you, for you to expound some wisdom on the room, or even give us your 2 cents. You should be a part of the show because all of my caffeines know how enriching it is to be part of the podcast, right? Yeah, get involved. So JRD says, so are you suggesting a Suze pose? Flash mob at Baltimore? We do all sit near each other. Well, I've said it in the past already. You guys plan that stuff. I'll show up, but I don't want to be in charge of any more things. In 2021, I'm finally learning how to say no to things. I'm not putting my name on anything else. So you feel free. And also, but while we're at it, yo, did you guys cop your Is It Thursday Yet coffee break mugs from JRD's website? I don't think you did. Don't let me down, you guys. Everybody was in the chat like, yo, these mugs are hot. Yo, cop the mugs. Right? What else do I have to do here? Cop the mugs. Maybe I'll throw in something nice for you. If I see proof of purchase, I'll take care of you. How's that sound? JRD, you want to give them the link in the chat to the mug to your to the Shopify joint? Look at that. Oh wow, I forgot to order. Dunk. Remember those V8 commercials? I wish I should have had a V8. Yeah, what up, Miguel? Good to see you, my man. Yeah, everybody wants that link. Yo, where's the link, bro? Help us out, JRD. Ray says, Jamar, you are living my indie comics dream. I applaud you. Thank you. I don't know what that dream would be, but thanks, man. You know what's really funny about my career is that somewhere in there, I kind of just knew that I was going to do my own stuff. I don't think that I was ever doing anything that was so magnificent that it would warrant that somebody else couldn't do it. But you know, it was just I had conviction in my ideas, and I just started doing stuff, and then I just kept doing more stuff. And you know, now I'm at the point where I get to do my stuff in front of a bigger audience, which is fantastic, and I'm very fortunate for it. And I never really wanted to. I don't know. It's like I got so far into it. People started asking me if I'd want to do their stuff, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good," which turned into a superpower very weirdly. Like if somebody knocked on the door next year and was like, "Yo, you want to draw, you know, something, we could talk about it, but I'm probably I'm good this way." So, but I appreciate that, man. It's gonna make me think about that. But yeah, tell me more about this dream. I'd like to hear it. JRD says, meaning Sue's poses. Jay, just be ready, Jay. And if I yell Sue's pose, like freeze frame for my table at a random moment. Oh no. Jim says, question, do you keep a list of future comic book character names? When one pops into your brain, do you keep it saved? That's a good question, Jim. No, I don't. I think when I was doing Detective Boogaloo Hip Hop Cop, I had that was probably the closest thing I had to a list because I was always thinking of either archetypes of rappers that I hadn't drawn yet in the strip or things that I wanted to introduce later and names that kind of connected to that. And some of those things that I just never had the space to flesh out, I put into the Rap Pioneer info strips. And the Rap Pioneer strips in Detective Boogaloo was kind of like the Dick Tracy dossier files, where you'd get a little snippet about a character. Like some of my favorites were King's English, who was basically a Slick Rick character. Johnny Rappleseed, who was basically kind of like a Melly Mel early rap dude, and he had a cooking pot on his head. Right, and I could just kind of find ways to integrate these guys into the universe. Baby Harriet, who was kind of like Lil' Kim, who had prehensile baby hair because the baby hair be glistening. But you know, for the most part, I just kind of, I don't keep a book, but I do keep notes. It's a good question. Thank you. So JRD says, and it's not going to work if I put it here, but you got to put it in the chat. The link never worked. It's grandpunwickgifts.com. All right. You guys got that? Okay. Eternity says the playing field is now even. The time's now to make my move. Yo, make your move. Don't ever wait. Just make your move. You know what? The universe will make room for you. I've never been a fan of waiting for stuff because, you know, I think that even with the indie creds, going back to this, we were a bunch of, I guess you call them early adopters. We were doing stuff that some people still haven't done, but it was so early, nobody saw it. So, like, we were doing like I did my Asteroid Girl mini comics with an acetate cover with the logo was printed on it, and then I would do sketches behind the acetate cover. It would pop up. We were just doing all types of stuff, like my Detective Boogaloo Ill Crimes Unit case files. That's one of my more liked things, which was a dossier folder with coffee rings on it. Like, we were just going nuts, right? And then you see people do stuff like 15 years later, and I was like, oh, okay, we did that already. But I never waited for somebody to say, okay, this door's open, go through it now. Just create your own lanes. But I do agree, like, you know, if you got something, you have probably the most platforms to get it out into the world. But I'm also a fan of just doing stuff off, like, if you ever looked at a bag of the fish, like the goldfish crackers, all the goldfish are going one way, but the goldfish with the cartoon mouth is going the other way. If they go right, go left. I've always lived by that. Ray says, that's exactly what I was talking about. You hit the nail on the head in your description. I started out doing creator-owned work, and I miss it, but it's been a challenge to come back to. Yeah, I totally understand that. And then I know that there's always like, and you can forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn. I'm not speaking about you, but just the energy of comics is you try to do stuff that you believe in, but then it may not sell, or the audience isn't there yet, or they don't know who you are yet because you didn't draw X-Men long enough or whatever. So you go back in and make studio movies, right? But you're always in the back of your head, you're thinking about that one film that's going to premiere at Cannes, right? But also as we get older, you only have so much energy, right? So everybody knows that I don't produce a lot of comics. I could never do a monthly comic book. It would kill me. But I do my thing, and even with my Scholastic deal, I'm doing like a huge books every year. But I don't think I would trade that. But if somebody, especially maybe in Ray's case, were like, "Yo, Ray, we need you to jump on this book for 10 issues," and you're like, "All right." But to your fans, that's the dream, right? Us being in comics is the dream fulfilled, right? But then when you dial it in a little bit more, we all kind of have more, there's different frequencies to all of us. Everybody's in comics for a different reason. Not everybody grew up wanting to draw Spider-Man. I think people think that's what it is. A lot of people know that my first love was always comic strips. Like, I was way too young reading Doonesbury every day in the Philly Inquirer. I didn't know what I was looking at, but there's something about the language, the visual language, that spoke to me, and I wanted to be a comic strip artist. I wanted to do comic strips, and luckily I got to do strips when I did Boogaloo in the Metro, which was kind of like a little bit of a box I checked off. But it's like, I don't even think people get that you're already inside the dream, but you want to always fine tune your dream a little bit. JRD says, sip of coffee for peanuts of Blue County. That's what's up. All right, I guess I got to sip because you said so. Right. The work that comes from your soul is so much richer. We just talked about that on It Ain't Hard to Tell. If you're not a Patronus, go fix that problem. I'm jumping around. Right. So I admire creators who started and never stopped. It's tough. I'm sure you know a lot of people who you started in with who ain't here now. That's almost like pour out your 40 for your homies. It's a rough road, bro. And there's a lot of comic book artists that aren't here anymore. Some brilliant, brilliant stuff that was just maybe too early. Like, one of my best road dogs back in the day, we don't really speak anymore, was doing stuff that I see cats doing now that I was like, yo, my man did that. You know what I'm saying? We all have stories like that. And it's just maybe to turn the teens thing is that yes, you do your thing. Yes, you get that road under your tires. You get those notches on your belt. And then that kind of informs the next thing. But there's a point where I know a lot of people make deals with themselves, right? Like, if this doesn't work, I'm dot 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 dot. If I can't sell enough of these, I gotta dot dot dot. Wifey said, if I don't get a movie deal by next year, she's gonna dot dot dot. All of those things just kind of like weigh down on people. Those ultimatums make the walls close on people. And everybody's got to make decisions. Everybody's got to like figure out a way to keep their lights on. So I understand, man. We've all lived that. We've all gone through that. We're all still going through it. I mean, hell, we're in the middle of a pandemic trying to make comic books. Does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying? But we keep chugging along. All right, I'm getting. Let's see what else is going on down here. Yeah, people are sharing their stories. I was going to talk about the dentist. I don't know how we started talking about comics so heavy. But hold on. Racist is the only thing that makes sense. Yeah, that's the bug. That's that little like the spark in the Matrix, not the Keanu Reeves Matrix, the Transformers Matrix, the true Matrix, the Matrix of leadership. There's that spark that makes you keep going. And I was talking about this, about your like, what is your why? What makes you get up in the morning? What makes you not pull covers back over your head? Hold on, Miguel. Hold on, Miguel needs a mug and a sticker. Come on, JRD, get that link up. Yeah, I think JRD just said what the link was. So maybe go to, what was it again, JRD? So everybody's got to answer that question for themselves, right? And I always feel like the internet, or just like death scrolling through Instagram, or looking at influencers, or looking at these perfectly coiffed young people and with their magnificent lives, makes you feel more and more small. What am I doing wrong? How come I don't have flowing hair like that person? Why? And it's all, it's the same fight that's been going through like fashion magazines all these years, about body image and creating a false sense of reality in young people, because we're all influenced by that stuff, like, but if you kind of can figure out a way to just do your thing and not get caught up in all the likes and the hearts and the follows and having thousands of people, look at you duck facing on Instagram, you'll be all right. Oh, hold on, Jared D got a special free shipping tonight for the coffee break with JN mug. Yo, Miguel, that's what's up, brother. Sip of coffee for my man. I love it. Just ordered the blue mug. Sip of coffee for Fletch. You're gonna make me run out of coffee. See, we had to unplug the dam. Now we're moving. I love it. Oh, you're sharing the profits with me. Well, ring the bell. That's what's up. I like profits. Eternity says Gogo 13 artist Tako Saito has been creating that comic since '68. He's still at it. It's one of the longest running manga. Did you see with Saito Sensei was on an episode of Man Bin? Did we talk about Man Bin? Man Bin is kind of like is it Urisawa? Is that who the host is? Who does 20th Century Boys? Um, Goes into other mangaka studios and sets up. Not, I don't think it's him, but it's his crew. Sets up cameras in these people's studios, and they just film them for a week working. And they went to Saito's studio, and there's a giant Gogo 13 in the lobby. It's amazing. And my man, he's like 70 or something like that. And he's got a white glove, and he's still drawing everything himself. It's such an elegant line. I love Gogo 13. It's so amazing. When we were in Tokyo, I bought all this Gogo 13 stuff, and then I was like, what am I going to do with all these? I was in 7-Eleven buying Gogo 13, like those little like squatty large manga books. It was amazing. But yeah, I had to cop this. This is such a beautiful image. And I know a lot of people in the States learned about Gogo 13 from the Nintendo game. You remember Top Secret Gogo 13? And people were like, yo, that's a comic book? And then the other one, Moffat Conspiracy, which wasn't even labeled as a Gogo 13. So we know what's up. Yeah, you better, if you find them, rip those, because they get taken down all the time, and somebody always kinds of re-uploads them. But yeah, that's if I could ever condone like ripping stuff, get Man Bin and put it on your hard drive. Oh, you saw the anime first? Yeah, that stuff's hardcore. That was a great episode. Let's do a ID. You're watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. That's right, Jamar Nicholas. JN is the acronym. Some call me Maurice. That's for you, JRD. I haven't done that one in a while. Probably my least, the one I don't get any feedback from is the Black Dick Cavett, because I'm showing my age because half of you cats don't know who Dick Cavett is. I think there was a period of time where being a real like a whip smart talk show interviewer or host was a pretty hot commodity. I remember watching the Tom Snyder show. It was just a light and a black backdrop, and Tom Snyder just chain smoking cigarettes and talking. Morton Downey Jr., which was like the beginning of Gonzo Schlock TV, which begat Jerry Springer, all those things. And the reason I call myself that is because I consider myself a host of some sort, a host of some stripe, where, we get together, not here for this tabernacle, but I do enjoy talking to people. We're talking right now. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. And also your internet best friend, hello. What happens here? Well, you come here to Coffee Break. I just messed this up. Hold on. To watch me drink this and run that. And when I'm out of this, video's over. Hang out, will you? Yes. Yo, who's this? Missimoan. Cavett is a low-key badass. That is correct. And welcome to the show. I don't think we've ever talked to you before. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, the dog's going nuts. Oh, I know Cavett. That's hilarious. Oh, hold on. I see a coffee check. Sorry for the dogs bugging out. JRD says, I think the best interviewer these days, at least in the US, is probably the guy who does the hot wing. Oh, Hot Ones. Yeah, that dude's really good. I'm sure everybody's seen Hot Ones because all they have are the gifs of Shaq like touching a wing with his tongue and making faces. You may be right, JRD. He's really good at interviewing people. And he gets like really like solid facts out of people. He knows his shit. He studies up on his guests. I used to think Nardwar was good too. The weird guy from Canada who tries to stump music superstars. He's good too. All right. Coffee check. Yo, Jim, you caught me at the end of this, bro. I'm glad you did a coffee check. Let's see what's going on. So we started here. Oh, sorry, I got to get rid of you. Sorry, bro. All right, started at the top. Now we here. You see what I did there? Now we're at. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, man. That's a hurt piece, like they say in the street. Charlie Rose killed it. You think so? Hawthorne used to call me that. I think that he stopped. He called the Charlie Rose of comics. It was like, let's not do that. Yeah, he got canceled for real. FR. Charlie Rose and Tavis were I thought of as the best until. Yeah, what up, Jerry Kraft? You guys know Newbery Medal award-winning Jerry Kraft, New York Times bestseller Jerry Kraft, and my best bud, Jerry Kraft, who I just saw. And Jerry, this is fantastic. Jerry Kraft was showing off the cover of New Kid in 7 different languages. What languages was it in? I couldn't even understand what I was looking at in half of those. But that's fantastic. I hope you get enough comps to make a whole library shelf out of that in your studio. Look at everybody saying hi to Jerry. What up, Jerry Kraft? JRD loves him some Jerry Kraft. And who doesn't, really? Anyway, we're almost out of time, but I was going to talk about the dentist. I had to go to the dentist today. And I think I've spent maybe a third of my life in a dentist chair. Yo, Jeffro, what's up, brother? You and I need to have another heart-to-heart, my man. You know how to find me. Let's make that happen. The capo of the Philly Cartoonist Society, Jeffro Kilpatrick. How are you, man? It's good to see you. The Sauce Boss. I see you out there, man. I salute the General. Thanks for checking us out, brother. I miss you too, my man. And Jeff, you used to be he was the patron saint of Fishtown here in Philly, but I see you don't rep that as much anymore. But, I know your humble beginnings. I feel that. Sip of coffee for just getting through. JRD says, I've been good and have not bugged Jerry about his next book. Well, he's working on it. What else is there to say? You know how this works, brother. Yeah, I've heard. Yo, what's up, Ghost Cred Nick? Everybody knows Nick is one of my for real, ride or die homies, Fast and Furious family. Nick says, sometimes the world turns over on its head and you join the military to serve 9/11. And you walk away from it all, but you never forget about comics. Art will be there when you retire. 19 months, we're counting down, bro. We're going to party. But yeah, and when I say the thing about a lot of people who aren't here, again, going back to the circumstances, I don't know. I kind of feel like there should be like a no regrets type of thing. And I think people live with regrets. As soon as it regrets. a lot because it's like of an unfulfilled thing, or I always wanted to go to Paris or whatever. But I think you can try to answer those things by continuing to chip away at it. Maybe it's not your first thing. Maybe it's not your third thing, right? But you have to make space for your dream. Like if I drop dead in this chair right now, I think that would be a good last word. Make space for your dream, right? I know. Oh yeah, that's what's up. See, Nick, you get love, my man. Because at the end of the, like, like the clock's always ticking, and you got to make space. Like Nick has incredible drawings. His Instagram is popping. Yo, Nick, give him the URL to your IG, and maybe we'll do that. Everybody who's got an Insta, put your tag up in the chat so everybody can follow each other. JRD, that's funny. Um, right, you gotta just keep sketching, you keep drawing, you keep making pages, you keep doing sequentials, you keep doing because it's in you and you can't stop, right? And like again, I know how hard that is. I've said it in the past. Not everybody has fill in the blank. Some people's studio is a corner in the kitchen table that you have to pick up and move when it's dinner time. Respect, right? Sometimes your studio is a corner at the coffee shop down the road. Respect. When you find a space and you keep working on it, right? I think that's important. Yeah, people are starting to share their gram. That's what's up. Yeah, get in that. You'll get in that. You'll get in that. So much to get in. Um, yeah, it's crazy, man. I've been trying to talk about the dentist. Maybe we're not talking about the dentist. Jared D says, yeah, your what compels you question to me. I literally have to tell stories. Publisher, BS, distro BS, all that grinds my gears, but I have to keep storytelling. Yes, you get it. That's what's up. Get in that. Get in that. You guys go, besides just going, wow, there's somebody's thing, go follow. See what the caffeines are up to. And you're like, wait, what? What's a caffeine? Do I have to tell you what the caffeines are? Go ahead, Suze. You know how to say it. Caffeines, friends and regulars, not decaf. Of Coffee Break with JN. That's right. We come here. We congregate every Thursday at 9 p.m. EST. The Act Nicholas one, the greatest man alive. Oh yeah. To talk that good talk for Tabernacle. I'm gonna say Tabernacle way too much lately. And the routine. You know what we've been saying for the past couple of months. Where's Fletcher? Is it Thursday yet? Right. I love that we look forward to this. I love that I look forward to this. I love that I go through my day the closer it gets to Thursday night thinking about, maybe I should talk about that. And then we never talk about it because something else comes up. That's live television, baby. And, I can't do any of this stuff without you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your eyeballs, your attention, and your love. It means the world to me. There's, I don't know, like I said this at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody's got Facebook Live on your account. You just turn it on and make something happen. But a lot of people don't. Or there was a point when I started doing this, and a lot of people were like, oh, JN, I see you. I'm going to do that. Oh, JN, I see what you're doing. I'm going to do that. But they ain't doing that. I'm here every week, fam. So I respect that you're taking time out of your evening to spend it with me. Thank you. Blessed hands emoji. Brown. I gotta ring the bell for my numbers tonight. We're reaching the sky tonight. It's great. Thank you so much. We're not done yet. Coffee left, but thanks, brother. Black Horseman. Yo, when we riding again, Ray? You doing shows, bro? Yo, what up, Tam? Yo, you don't have no words. What's that about? Um, Ray Felix says, "Are you doing Baltimore Con?" I am on the marquee, so yes. Unless the world kind of like slides further into the abyss, yes, I'll be there. But it's my plan. Are you going, Ray? Sue says no decaf. Good to see you. Oh yeah, we're not, Suze. We're not out yet. But you know what we should do right now. Are you guys ready? I like to see how people flip that and make it their own. Tammy says, "What's in the cup?" You know what? I've been riding hard with 8 o'clock coffee. Is what do I call it? Old man coffee. Perfect. It's perfect for me. I love a little 8 o'clock coffee with nut pod. It's just like non-dairy. Is it oat milk and coconut or something? It's smooth. There's a little slap of that. Pinky's out. It's delicious. Thanks for asking. Good to see you tonight. You got to do it, bro. See, now you brought it up. I got to do it again. Everybody's got a Sue's pose. Hey, Myra, how are you? I haven't seen you in months. Is everything okay? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. That's fantastic. I hope I wasn't embarrassing her, but it's so great. I love the Sue's pose. Ray says I was planning on it, but afraid of the super crud. Now we talked about con crud in the before times, but what's con crud at? Like, but you know what? All my people at Baltimore, they just put out another mandate. They're trying to be super, super, super safe. So if I had to pick a show to go to, it would be Baltimore because they're going to make sure everybody's straight. So, but I understand your apprehensions, Ray. I feel you. I'm not repeating that, JRD. Matt says, my college roommate always drank 8 o'clock coffee and would laugh and say, tastes more like 3 o'clock. JRD says, I should draw Shakes the cow doing Sue's pose. I think you should. Ray says, I am too a pinky out guy. I always get teased, but darn it, I can't help it. Yo, man, because we're fancy. Nothing wrong with being a dandy. You know what I'm saying? You show these people how you class up the joint. I love it. Assassin's Brew. My man had made a, what did he call it? The defibrillator. I think he would get, and JRD, wait a minute, JRD, tell us about when you used to get a coffee and you put like 9 espresso shots in it. What did you call that? It was something like that. It was kind of like a super latte where they put like 30 pumps of espresso in there. Ugh. Yeah, man, you got to rep Baltimore, man. Sue says, Baltimore Con ordering an extra box of 95 masks and take a gallon pump bottle of hand sanitizer. May just order pizza to be delivered. That's where the pump is so big. When you squeeze it, it goes. Black eye, yeah, the black eye, and not the black guy, Suze. Watch out now. What was in the black eye coffee? There you go. My migraine killer was an extra large coffee with 6 sugars, 6 to 8 shots, and a half and a half. Come on, man. That made my heart race just even reading that. Come on, man. You got to be nice to yourself. You don't do that anymore, do you? You made my teeth hurt by saying that. How dare you? So, what did we learn tonight? We learned a little bit more about my humble beginnings in comics. We represented the Indie Cred All Stars, lovely iCred, and we talked a lot about motivation, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Matt says black eye coffee and a shot of espresso. Red eye coffee and 2 shots. Huh. Okay. I'm with it. Jeffro says it's nice just to hear you talk. Come on, brother. Thank you so much, man. I'll hit you with the Denzel gift. Heart attack, man. I now save coffee for Thursday nights. I love it. What is that? Sounds familiar. That's making me think of that's Art and Beauty. That's R. Crumb's sketchbooks. What is Art and Fear? Yo, be careful, bruh. And I had all these things planned out. Thank you, man. Like I was going to talk about my Pac-Man shirt. Now in stock, Pac-Man, new Atari Pac-Man. This is what, 81? 82? I think it was 82, 81. New in stores, Pac-Man for Atari 2600, $32.97. You can't see it because you don't need to see my stomach, but that's how much the Atari costs. $139 in the streets. I told the story about how I was a giant Pac-Man nerd. If you represent my 70s babies out there, if you played Pac-Man in the arcades, you knew how big Pac-Man fever was. That was a real thing. There would be lines down the street out the arcade to play Pac-Man. And I was down. I mean, I was young, but I was still down. I grew up in the arcades. And then when Atari Pac-Man came out, you made me laugh at that. It cost everything. When they announced it for the Atari 2600, and I talked about this before, there's neckbeards on YouTube who talk about, oh, the Atari Pac-Man is garbage, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we knew that. But if you were actually there when it happened, we didn't care, man. We grew up with 70s TV Spider-Man, Nick Hammond, like spider rope out the joint. Like, we still used our imaginations in the 70s. But I wanted that game real bad. And I asked my dear poor mother, Mama, I just want Pac-Man for Christmas or whatever it was. And it was sold out everywhere. Like, you think about things now and how things would sell out instantly, or, oh, it was in my Amazon shopping cart. Now it's going. Like, no, you actually had to go to the store and buy something in person. And all over Philadelphia was sold out. And I think she told me she had to go, bless her heart, she had to go to the suburbs to go find this game in some random place. I think you just go through the yellow pages and call places and go, you got Pac-Man? And when I got it, yeah, it wasn't the arcade, but we knew that going in. We knew that. We played it anyway. We loved it anyway. So don't let these revisionist history neckbeard cats ruin nostalgia for you. And they'll tell you how everything is trash. I knew it was garbage. Oh, the 5200 was hot, though. Oh, but but it also comes with a Frogurt. That's good. But the Frogurt is cursed. Yeah, that's what's up. Oh, Miss Pac-Man is still the best. Yeah, man. Which when you play Rampage, who do you pick? Do you pick the Wolf Man or the Lizard or the Monkey? Yo, is that Crazy Eddie store T-shirt ad? His prices were insane. All right, you guys, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I love it. Yeah, man. But yeah, Jerry Kraft is right. The Atari 5200 was next. It was next level. And people, even the retro gamer people, still say how crap those controllers were. They tried too much. It was a little bit like a ColecoVision and television. It was like a pad. It was like a holding a remote in your hand with a little joint at the top. Like ColecoVision sticks were like that, and it had a number pad on it. And they were notorious for breaking. If you can find one that works in 2021, but they might break on you the second you try to use it. And that's what I think that's what killed the 5200 was the controllers were trash. I could talk about video games all night, you know that. It depends. You can get Atari stuff real cheap. Atari 2600 stuff is like bottom basement cheap. Nobody cares about that stuff. And the retro scene, but still the hot ticket is NES. And there's already people who are kind of fighting against all this new news. We're like, yo, somebody paid a cajillion dollars for Super Mario Brothers new in box. But they're already debunking that some of that stuff has been inflated and there's like some collusion going on. But really, as we all know, as comic book fans, you can't sell your collection. Nobody wants that, but it means something. What is it? Your things are worth what somebody will buy them for, and that's really the cherry on the top of being a collector of anything. If you can sell it to somebody and they'll buy it, that's what it was worth. So I hope there's nobody out here still trying to collect stuff thinking they're going to flip it. Yeah, that was a way to go. All right, you guys, I got to wrap this up. This has been fantastic. I love the audience tonight. There are things I wanted to get to. We didn't even talk about. I wanted to talk about going to the dentist. That didn't happen. I wanted to talk more about my Pac-Man T-shirt. It didn't happen. Don't ever sell Jamar Chronicles, bro. You know what? You never know. One day I might bring that back. Maybe you'll see it in a different format. That'll be hot. All right, you know what Sue says. Get ready to say good nights, y'all. But hold on, I got to give a shout out to my GLOs. You know who they are. I still have to update this thing. Good looking out to all of my $2 patrons on Patreon. You know my Patronuses. I see you out there. I see some of y'all caffeines are doing double duty as Patronuses. Thank you so much. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can join my Patreon. That's right. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can join my campaign to have the best Patreon on earth. Also, one of the highlights, and JRD will tell you about it, is you at a certain tier get access to my fortnightly podcast. It ain't hard to tell with comic book superstar Mike Hawthorne. That's right, that Mike Hawthorne. Mike, like I said, one of my old indie cred all-star buds, are super tight. We come together and answer Patreon patron questions every 2 weeks. We have a blast. The episodes are like an hour and change. It's very insightful. Everybody gets a lot out of it, and you're missing out because you'll never see them here. You gotta join the John. That's a good hashtag. Join the John. All right. So you know the routine. I wanna get 50. I want to see 50 members by November. Wouldn't that be cool? I never thought I'd have 50 patrons, but I think if it gets too much, I think if it gets to 100, I might cap it because I can't pay attention to that many people at one time. But jump on the ship. Let me know what you think. I think you'll have a good time. Thank you guys so much. Expecto Patronus. Matt, you're mad late, bro. We're drinking 8 o'clock coffee. Hey, who knows? All right, y'all. Let's say goodnight. You know what to do. Yeah, I gotta update the thing. Yo, Tim, what's up, man? I seen all these superstars up in here. It's good to see you, man. That's great. Oh, Tim only play asteroids. That's what's up. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. People are putting their Patronuses in there. Sus pos leviosa. That's fantastic. All right, one more Sus pose for the road. I got to get out of here. Where's the joy? Hold on. All right, thank you guys. I can't do this without you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great to see you. See you next time. See you next Thursday. You've been watching Coffee Break with JN, with your boy JN, your internet, it's your internet hairbrusher, the person you come to tell your problems to. Had a rough day, boss getting you down. Did you puncture a tire on the Schuylkill? Tell me, I'll listen to your problems. But in return, I just want your love. That's all. That's all. That's all I want. The Grand Poobah of comics, the Kevin Bacon of comics, in your internet safe space. What happened tonight? Well, you got to hang out with me and watch. No, you got to hang out with me and watch me drink coffee and rub my mouth. Now that I'm out of coffee, video's over. See you next time.